Here we go. Good morning. Doing a quick drive to the store on Tesla's FSD 12.6.1. Have the hurry profile set, auto offset 40%. We had a rain here not too long ago, so seeing how FSD will handle those circumstances on top of the typical areas that we travel. I know 12.6.2 is being released to early access folks with hardware 3, so looking forward to that build to test that out pretty soon. I know some others on hardware 3 still have the 12.5.4.2 build, so hopefully you all see a bump with that soon as well. Okay, taking off, you can kind of hear the other vehicles losing traction, so no issues on our end so far. I did painfully replace all 4 tires not too long ago, so we're good up from the traction standpoint. Just paying attention to monitor and see how FSD handles itself, because I did leave it in hurry mode. The roads are wet, so we'll see if there's any drastic changes there. So far, so good. Making that lane change. Okay, moving past this truck. Doing well with that. I've heard users in the past, latest builds, even version 13, complain that the vehicle is getting extremely close to larger vehicles, 18 wheelers. And so nothing out of the ordinary there with that for us. So it's a good job there. Again, navigating just through the wet roads. It's always interesting to see. I haven't had the sign pop up yet, but it has in the past. Um, it did snow and it showed that FSD may be degraded. It was really cold one morning, and it indicated FSD may be degraded. So we'll be on the lookout for that as well. Coming in, making this left turn. Are we going to stay in this lane? It looks like we are. Pulling up to an EQS 450. Look good. Cybertruck passing by. Okay, so here we go, making this left turn, making sure we're staying in our position here. And that's good to go. Flawless left turns. Left turns have been really good The only times that I typically see something that's like, it's depending on how large the intersection is. And in certain intersections, when you make that left-hand turn, you have to be mindful and watchful for the island. Sometimes it does get close, but we haven't hit anything, so we'll take that. Now let's pay attention to the construction. We're getting the sign to move. FSD does just that. Slowing down. Again, paying attention to and remember to take over as far as the rate in which we're stopping. Again, if the roads were dry, it'd be different, but they are not. Let's have some major construction going on here. Probably a way I didn't want to take, but it looks like we're moving. May need to take over depending on what's going on. Okay. Didn't disengage, but it was acting funny, so I was ready to disengage. Let's check out this section here. Okay, no problems here. So something to be mindful of, especially it was like construction zone with a mix of the cones and an individual that was very close to the cones, that was close to the vehicle. I think its first instinct was to kind of slow down, potentially avoid or anticipate what the construction worker was going to do. Right turn, by the way, that was a little tight. So that was my first time experiencing that. But especially with stuff like that, obviously you want to be prepared to take over. I definitely was. And, but good to know. I think overall it did a good job. I think it, if it had to encounter that same experience, like if we made a U-turn and went through it again, I feel like it would handle it appropriately. So you have a good speed as well. Speed limit is 45. We're doing 43. I think that's perfect, especially for the conditions out here on the road. Into this 2-lane left, we'll take that inside lane. From here, it's a straight shot. Our destination will be on the right-hand side, so eventually we'll work our way through there. Okay, here we go. Left turn. Let's be mindful of this island like I brought up earlier. Good job there. You can see with certain islands too, they're just, you can see the tire marks on that island. So humans definitely hit that often, right? So I definitely give some leniency to FSD in the sense of if it has to course correct or there's a little bit of jerkiness to account for that island, I don't mind as long as we don't hit the island is the most important. So emergency signal, right? We talked about that before. At least in the hardware 3 that I've noticed that there's a little bit of hesitation there, which rightfully so. You would, need to be prepared to stop. I'd be interested to see what hardware 4 folks, version 13 folks experience with those areas, definitely passing a fire station, and if there's a hesitation there as well, or if it, anticipates that and slows down accordingly, so there's no hesitation. You kind of just prep for slowdown or what it actually does. Nevertheless, no issues with me on that on my end with that. Now we find ourselves in the middle lane, beginning to work our way um, toward the destination. Okay, moving on. Looking good here, just making sure we pay attention to the vehicles on the right-hand lane. Sometimes they like to come over once they realize it's a turning lane, and vice versa. Looking good though before we go under this overpass of the tollway. So you have two lights here, and then we'll notice here if it tries. Okay, good. I always pay attention, and I advise you to do the same if the vehicle attempts to change lanes through an intersection. Obviously, that's a no-no. Certain states do certain things. If it's not a law, it's really an unspoken rule that you don't want to do that, and it has in the past. So a stop sign here, clear. So that's definitely something that I try and monitor and report when I can catch it and remember, hey, don't want to do that. Even if the turn's coming up right after that intersection, it's much safer just to pass the turn, U-turn, turn into the shopping center and go the long way. So we are at destination now, so appreciate the views and the likes, comments, subscriptions, all that good stuff. We'll definitely report soon with some more trips, some more drives, and seeing what we can catch, seeing if anything changes, and go from there. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks.